All right.
Jude, thank you so much for jumping on with me today. It's great to have a chat about your progress over the last, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. I've personally seen you come so far in your business, of course, really importantly, but even more importantly, as a person and a business operator, in terms of building up your skills and your confidence and knowing what the mechanics of your business actually are. And so we can jump into what that looks like, of course, and a couple little things that's been, beneficial for you in terms of what's moved your business forward. But before we jump into that, I'd love to just hear a little bit about you and what your business does, and then we can jump into the more specifics in a second.
Cool. Thanks, Will. Yeah. No, the program's been great for me. It's been a massive learning curve because, I'm just quite a lo-fi kind of guy, and I've always done things like by trial and error, a lot of mistakes, and so um, especially with tech stuff, it's a lot of hit and miss. So to have your guidance is amazing. Yeah, so I'm a fashion designer. I work in Melbourne, and I manufacture everything locally as well. So we have a little shop in Fitzroy that we make everything out of, and local makers, and yeah, very small production runs, ethical manufacture. So we sell yeah, pretty much mostly in Australia, and online and in store. Yeah, and we do lots of design markets as well to bring our work to interstate audience. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you've got a lot of, well, not a lot, but more than one avenue. A lot of people mostly just selling obviously online, but yeah, you've got the physical store. As you say, you've been doing well at markets for a long time, which is great. You've got a really good loyal following. And so if I recall correctly, before you came into the program, as you said before, you were kind of trialing the area. It sounds like you wanted to make the online work, but just didn't still have that kind of traction, and certainly not the confidence. You were actually doing ads. Was it an agency that was looking after your ads before you came in? I can't recall.
Yeah, yeah. So we had an agency, and we've tried all kinds of different things. We've tried
Mm.
yeah, ad agency, PR agency,
Mm.
um and the results were always pretty mixed.
Yeah.
I think what I liked about the course is that, like everything is in my control, and I'm like getting a really good understanding of how all the back end stuff works, and I can do it all myself from scratch. So
Mm.
yeah, and I'm seeing the results like really quite quickly, I would say. Um, so it's like quite encouraging to know that all the hard work is paying off.
Absolutely. And one thing I kind of noticed about you right in the beginning when we first spoke was just how much you did want to make it work online. And that's really admirable, especially because, the in-store and the other things are working. And so what I sometimes observe is that when something is working, one element of the business, there's these nice to haves over here that'll be like, one day it'd be nice to have the online, one day it'd be nice to have this XYZ. But you were obviously really committed to doing that. Hence why you invested into yourself and into the business, into this program. And you've also committed to doing the work, what's required, right? Obviously, with our very close guidance and whatnot, and giving you the strategies and the rollout. But hopefully, just by having that knowledge and expertise, it's been able to remove what I kind of call like that 80 to 90% of overwhelm, right? So I talk about this concept a little bit. You may have heard this, but for anyone kind of watching, it's basically that we spend so much of our time, it could be 80 to 90% of time, just being overwhelmed and being indecisive and lacking confidence and deciding what we should be doing in terms of especially marketing, and that 10 to 15 to 20% actually executing that plan. Whereas when people come in, and hopefully you've been in this boat, is we squash that overwhelm or that indecisiveness or that wasted time. And so you can 100% focus on what you're actually supposed to be doing. And so that's what actually gets the results, is when you're actually taking the action. And so that's again what something I've really observed with you. And so what was it specifically? Because I think you've gone from that 2 to 3K ish mark, maybe 3.5, 4K, and in a few months you hit 7.5 or 8, I think it was, K, which is nice growth, of course. What were the
Yeah.
what were the biggest levers or the actual strategies? What was it that you were doing that you could see direct results from?
Yeah, I think just like what you said, like the consistency of everything and like the whole holistic approach. So like from the social media to newsletters to Facebook ads, and then just like, being really consistent with all the avenues and like delivering the same message to like, yeah, through different avenues. I think it's been really key. And yeah, and I think, yeah, the course is really encouraging because there's times when you do so much and then you don't get the result you want, but you always like tell us to keep pushing on, and like it's always the calm before the storm. So I think yeah, that's kept me going, really well as well. So um yeah, it's always a bit hard when you look at it day to day, but then when you look back on it 6 months later, like you realize how much you've achieved. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you are actually so right. And when we're in our own businesses, just in the weeds every single day, we rarely pop our heads up to have a look at, how far we've come. And this is one of the points of these calls, as I sort of mentioned as well. But to see the progress is really, really important. And to, like, I always talk about kind of certainty, and there is no certainty or guarantees with when and how far you're going to get. But one thing is for sure, which I know from 11 years of experience in being in business and e-commerce, especially, is that if you know what's around the corner, if you know that, sure, things can be quiet, but if you keep going, you're going to build up and slingshot for the next couple of months. Like we spoke about, the ebbs and the flows. We're going to have high months, we're going to have low months, but as long as by the end of the year we've gone from here to here, then that's normal, let's call it. Because with normalization and understanding trends and understanding what is normal, then you can just keep getting on with it, if you know what I mean. It means just like okay, I'll just keep going, and then it's going to be high and it's going to be low sometimes, but we're going to make progress. And I think that, again, that's sort of what you're being indoctrinated into, obviously being in the program, but what I've observed from you and admired about you too is that it's like, yep, I check in when I need to check in. Hey, like things are a little bit quiet. Is that normal? You can sort of check in and be, okay, cool. Yep. I'll just keep going, keep going, keep going. And in fact, I said, just before when we were doing some coaching, it was like, well, in the quiet times, we go even harder, because then we can have that one step back to go 2 steps or 3 steps forward. Because let's call it normal people, or people that don't know that what we know or have the information or experience that we have within the community, they basically do the opposite and they say it's quiet, let's do nothing. And that is really pegging you back, So, as I say, you've taken everything that we've helped you with and asked great questions. You show up on calls, you show up in the community, and that's been a massive part, I hope, to you, succeeding, because you've been such a big part of the community as well. And that's, again, what I observe about people who do succeed within the program, is that they are involved. They're helping others. They're questioning, they're curious, they want to know what's next and how they can get better. And that's a big
totally
thing.
I think yeah, oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I think the community is like amazing, and I've learned so much from everyone. So it's like one of the most like valuable parts of the whole program. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm just recalling, like, I think the reason why I did it in the first place, like the start of this year was honestly quite rocky for business, and yeah, I don't have any other options. There's nothing else I can see myself doing. So I had to make it work, like yeah, just like I had no other choice. So like with the bricks and mortar and markets being so up and down, I decided, oh, it's time to bring up the online and make that one of our really like staple sources of income. And yeah, that's what brought me to the program. But then it's just been like so much more than I expected. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's really good, for other people to hear as well, that, and again, empowering for you, because it's like, yeah, if it is to be, it's up to me. That is so true. I believe in life generally. And so when you're talking about business, we have to treat it like life and death. It's like, okay, we can't go back. Like, we've just got to go forward. We've got to go through it. Right. And so, I mean, I guess just kind of with that on a final note, having that wisdom, being on this other side of, having confidence and building skills and seeing where you're at now. And, I'm so optimistic for you for next year, and they're going to be even better, trust me. But like for those people that are kind of where you were beforehand, before getting help, before knowing what you know now, what would you sort of say to people like that are in that position now that are stuck, or they're not sure what's next, or they're stagnated, or they want to move faster? What would you sort of say to those people in terms of what they should do next in terms of,
Yeah, I
how you were
think
thinking?
like basically never give up. I would say like there's days that you feel like you're wading through like never ending like stuff and like just like constant issues, problems, obstacles, but I think like every tiny thing you do counts. And I think like how you would tell us that everything is like compound interest, and every action you take, it just keeps building. So yeah, I think I'm a strong believer in that now, because I've seen how just like little actions can make such a difference. And then when you put it all together over a whole month, it's like the difference can be amazing. So
Mm.
yeah, I would say never give up.
That's amazing. That is, yeah, absolutely short and sweet and simple. And people, like, it's almost like if you know, because we hear a lot of these, let's call it, they're sayings for a reason. And when I read those things and when I saw those things and I got motivated by those things before I had jumped over the other side of, let's call it, someone's version of success, which was, yeah, certainly mine. Like I recalled that stuff and I'm like, oh man, that could not be, it actually means more to you when you've been through it, right? Than at the time beforehand. And so I reckon that's beautiful, because never give up basically means there's solutions there. Someone has gone through what you've done, what you're going through now, because it's easy to feel like you're in isolation. It's easy to feel like I'm the only person that's ever going through this or been through this, right? And so you
Yeah.
obviously had that attitude and found a way out. And it was, through the program as one avenue, which was amazing. And yeah, here you are to tell the story, which is amazing, man. So, as I say, like, thank you for sharing that. And obviously congratulations on the progress so far. And
Thank you.
there's only more good things to come, man. That's what really excites me. And, I'm super proud of you, of course. And yeah, I just can't wait to see what we can do in 2025. So, man, thank you so much for sharing that. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Will.
Absolutely, man. No worries.